So from following our call last week, this is a sample of kind of a ARM template. Now this is not necessarily a production ready ARM template. This is just trying to get all the elements of API management in one place. You can see I have hard coded things like the the certificates, which you should not, or the passwords and the other pieces here. What I'm also assuming is this backend APIs exist. So this I have deployed in on my app server, which will be available. I will share the code with you, but I'm assuming those URLs you got in place. Same for the backend authorization API and other pieces. Now, if we look through this, essentially it sets up the API management instance mainly in consumption tier, and then it goes and configures all the APIs. So the backend, if you look at backend cert API, it configures that. Then it configures authorization API. It configures certificates that we need. So it injects the certificates in the API management. Also, it configures things like policies. So if I scroll down a little bit more, I could see things like this is where it is not that pretty. So that's why you should not use this kind of template for production because it's hard to maintain. But this is where you got all the policies and whole backend kind of definition in one place here. So that's the template. So what I have done with this is I've gone to the Azure portal. So if you go to the Azure portal now, and let's go to templates. So if I do templates, right, and I have created a new template, so I'm just going to create a new one. Let's call it APIM consumption demo, right? And I'll just paste the same description for now. Now here I will just go and paste that template. So let's go and just paste the template as it is. Okay, and then I can say add. So now that template is added, I could use this template to deploy. So APIM consumption demo is the one we created just now. So let's go and try it out. So I want to deploy this template. So let's say I want to deploy from this. And because I have done all the default values, it kind of fills in all those details. So resource group, want to create one. So I'm going to just go and create one, and let's create one. So let's call it POC PIM demo, something like that. Okay, and region I want probably in West Europe, or let's do North Europe. Right, these are coming in as a default value, but you could change them if you want to point to different instances. I'm going to agree and purchase. So this template will get deployed. So while that is getting deployed, I have exactly the similar instance deployed called APIM demo DS. So let's have a look. So what it has done is it has created these APIs which were in that ARM template. So it has created the backend API, the backend cert API, and also the custom authorization API. So this is the API that will be called by your custom client facing APIs. So this API makes call to the to the backend to just say whether to get the right token. And then if I look at the backend API here, it will actually make a call. It will actually make a call to this custom authorization API. Now all these are made as a parameters. So if I look at the named value pairs here, these are configured in here. So this is saying this is the backend, this is the this is the API for my backend authorization, but actual call is made to this part. It's hosted in function in my case, and the similar for weather API. This is the backend. Also the thumbprint to be checked for is also captured as a secret in here. If I look at certificates, now in this example I have just hosted certificate directly into APIM. So I have as a part of that template, it automatically imports this certificate, and we need all we need is that thumbprint, which is automatically captured by the template. So let's just quickly test. So if I go back here and say I want to make a call to backend API, test it, right? And if I say send, this should fail because there is no headers, right? So this has failed as expected. Now if I just add headers here, right, I can either add authorization or custom header. So I'm just going to add custom header. Custom, probably not a good choice of name here by me, but it just, it's good to prove the point. So, and that should work, that should pass through and come back with with a weather information. Yeah, so we can see, it's came back with weather information. If I do it again, it should be relatively quick. And then of course, if you want to dive deeper, you could look into trace, and you could look into exactly, what call came in, what happened with that call. So if I go down here, it could say, where it started to make call to the backend. If I look at things like this one, this was making call to the authorization API, and that essentially, passed all the headers. So if you look at headers, all these headers were passed across, and then you could keep looking at all the response you got back from that, and then the call into the backend you made using the information. I hope this helps. Thank you.